A long-awaited question is finally getting an answer. How will one of the most anticipated arms in recent memory be used when he makes his return? The manager has lifted the curtain on the plan, and it's clear there's strategy behind every detail. Will it be a cautious build-up, a high-leverage weapon out of the gate, or a surprise roll that catches opponents off guard? With the postseason picture taking shape, every inning could be the difference between glory and heartbreak. Fans have been counting the days, analysts have been debating the scenarios, and now the blueprint is finally coming into focus. Stay locked in because this return could be the spark that changes everything. Before we jump into today's huge update out of Los Angeles, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any Dodgers breaking news, trade rumors, and inside scoops as we get deeper into this season. Because trust me, what we're about to talk about with Roki Sasaki could end up being one of the biggest storylines of the entire year for the Dodgers and possibly Major League Baseball as a whole. The speculation has been wild ever since news broke about Sasaki's injury earlier this season, and now, manager Dave Roberts has finally gone on the record about how the team plans to use him once he's healthy again. And let me tell you, this isn't going to be your typical we'll see what happens kind of story. No, Roberts gave some real insight, and it's got fans buzzing with both excitement and curiosity. Roki Sasaki, the young Japanese phenom who had everyone talking before the season began, came into the Dodgers camp with sky-high expectations. We're talking about a guy who's been called the monster of the Reiwa era back in Japan, someone who can touch triple digits with his fastball while also pairing it with devastating breaking pitches. The Dodgers didn't just see Sasaki as a long-term project, they saw him as a potential immediate weapon, a pitcher who could tilt the balance of the National League in their favor. But just when anticipation was hitting its peak, Sasaki hit the injured list with an issue that forced the team to slam on the brakes. That's when the speculation really took over. Would he return in time to help the Dodgers make a late-season push? Would they even risk rushing him back in his first MLB season? And most importantly, if he does come back, in what role will he be used? Fans debated endlessly: starter, reliever, or even some kind of hybrid weapon out of the bullpen. Well, Dave Roberts just poured fuel on that fire with his latest comments. Speaking to reporters, Roberts made it clear that the Dodgers are being both cautious and strategic. He emphasized that Sasaki's long-term health is the priority, but he also dropped enough hints to get fans dreaming about how electric the pitching staff could look with Sasaki back in the mix. Roberts acknowledged that Sasaki's talent is so unique, the Dodgers can't just treat him like any other pitcher returning from injury. They have to find the perfect balance between unleashing that talent and making sure they're not jeopardizing his future. The big takeaway? Roberts hinted that Sasaki might not immediately return as a traditional starter logging 6 or 7 innings every 5 days. Instead, the Dodgers could ease him back into game action, maybe as a 3 or 4 inning opener, maybe as a high-leverage multi-inning reliever, or even as a spot starter depending on matchups. Imagine this: you're an opposing team, you've just battled through 5 innings against the Dodgers rotation, and then suddenly Sasaki comes in throwing 100 mph with nasty off-speed stuff. That's the kind of strategic advantage Roberts seems to be thinking about. The Dodgers have always been known for their creativity when it comes to pitching usage. Andrew Friedman and the front office built this roster with flexibility in mind, and Roberts has never been afraid to experiment, whether that's using starters out of the bullpen in October, or leaning on unconventional rotation patterns to maximize performance. Sasaki's return could give them one of the most unpredictable and dangerous weapons in baseball, especially down the stretch and into the playoffs. But Roberts also stressed that Sasaki's adjustment to MLB hitters is still part of the equation. Even before the injury, Sasaki was learning the league, figuring out how his stuff plays against the best hitters in the world. It's one thing to dominate in NPB, but the Dodgers know the jump to MLB is a whole different ballgame. That's why they're thinking about controlled situations early on, getting him comfortable, building his confidence, and letting him unleash without the pressure of having to go deep into games immediately. Fans, of course, are split on this approach. Some are saying, if he's healthy, put him in the rotation and let him go to work, while others love the idea of Sasaki being used in a way that maximizes his dominance in shorter bursts. And let's not forget October baseball is a different animal. If you think about how the Dodgers could line up their pitching staff in a playoff series, adding Sasaki to the mix, even in a non-traditional role, could be a nightmare for opponents. You could have him following someone like Tyler Glasnow or Bobby Miller, or pairing with Walker Buehler in a piggyback setup. Roberts also made it clear that Sasaki's rehab has been progressing well. The young right-hander has been throwing bullpen sessions, gradually increasing intensity, and the early reports are all positive. The Dodgers training staff is working closely with him, monitoring every pitch, making sure mechanics are clean and there's no lingering discomfort. For a pitcher who throws as hard as Sasaki does, maintaining that clean delivery is everything. The moment you start compensating or overexerting, you open the door to further injuries, something the Dodgers absolutely want to avoid. What's especially interesting is how this timeline could align with the Dodgers' postseason push. If all goes according to plan, Sasaki could be activated just in time to either make a few late regular season starts or step into that bullpen weapon role we've been talking about. Roberts even hinted at the idea that Sasaki's role could evolve over the course of the final weeks, start him slow, then expand his workload as confidence and stamina build. By the time the playoffs roll around, he could be ready to unleash his full arsenal in a way that the Dodgers can control strategically. It's also worth noting how much the Dodgers clubhouse has embraced Sasaki, even during his injury absence. Veteran pitchers have been in his ear, talking about routines, preparation, and how to attack big league hitters. Roberts said the team loves having him around because his energy is infectious and you can tell Sasaki wants to contribute as soon as possible. That kind of buy-in is crucial when you're a young player dealing with an injury in a new country. The support system around him has been strong, and it's only going to help when he finally gets back on the mound. Now, we have to talk about the big picture. The Dodgers pitching staff, as talented as it is, has dealt with its share of ups and downs this season. Injuries, inconsistent performances, and bullpen fatigue have all been storylines. Adding Sasaki back into the equation isn't just about depth, it's about injecting something that other teams don't have. There are only a handful of pitchers in the world who can throw like Sasaki, and the Dodgers are about to have one in their arsenal. Roberts knows this, and you can tell he's already thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. He's not just managing for next week's games, he's thinking about how to deploy Sasaki in a way that changes series, that gives the Dodgers an edge when the stakes are at their highest. And if there's one thing Dodgers fans know about October baseball, it's that one dominant pitching performance can swing an entire series. Sasaki has the ability to be that kind of X factor. And when the day finally comes for him to step back on a major league mound, you can bet Dodger Stadium will be buzzing like never before. Dodgers fans start getting excited. Dave Roberts has spoken, the plan is in motion, and the return of Roki Sasaki might be closer and more impactful than anyone realizes. So stay locked in, because the next few weeks could get very, very interesting in Los Angeles. And as always, keep it here for every update, every rumor, and every bit of news about your Dodgers. If you're as hyped for Sasaki's return as we are, drop a comment below, let us know how you'd want to see Roberts use him. And don't forget to subscribe so you're part of the conversation when that moment finally arrives.